We have the third highest youth unemployment in the world. And this is the face of it. We see the faces of these youth. This is what's going on in our country. Xenophobic killings, farm killings, schools being burnt down. Over 7,000 protests in our country in the last year. That's over 20 protests per day going on in different parts of the country. Every single person on this screen here has actually been to school. There's probably no person on that slide who has not been into our school system. So if school is working, we wouldn't be here, so it can't be working. Can we reimagine a new type of education, a 21st century education system that works for all people, not just for some? This is the World Economic Forum's list of what they estimate are these skills that you need to hold down a job and be successful in 2020. What's interesting about these skills is if you look at this list, not one thing on this list is about that you can program in Java or C++ or C# or Ruby on Rails or anything else. What is it? Complex problem solving, critical thinking, working with other people, etc. If we want real education, real empowerment and transformation through education, not just credentialing, not just that you get a piece of paper, then we need a different kind of education system that can develop these things, and not just these things, empathy and grit and courage and testing the boundaries, so much more than academic. So here on a picture is what we have to do with education. So we've got to move away from content to skills. Everybody needs a base set of skills, literacy, numeracy, tech skills, etc., to meta-learning, which is higher order thinking, and ultimately to mastery. So how are we going to make education work for everybody? So we've got to find methodologies that are scalable to develop the whole human being, to develop that human being's brain in the same way that we think about developing a computer's brain, and the computer goes from, I remember getting a 286 and then a Pentium 1, Pentium 2, Pentium 3, Pentium 4. Now we've heard about all the growth in technology. Can we do that to the brain? Content and skills. This is where tech is really going to come in, and every human being has got genius, has got unique talents and interests. How do we develop that? So Peter Diamandis, co-founder of Singularity, says, without question, the #1 driver for education is inspiration. I call it the 3 I's: inspiration, imagination, and integration. Our job is to wake up these students. They have to be inspired. You know, if somebody's inspired, I always say to the students, no army can stop somebody who's inspired and awake. And lastly, we have this opportunity to harness the greatest demographic dividend that we've ever had in this continent. By 2050, we are going to have 830 million youth. Either we're going to have 830 million youth, of which 1 in 6 is still employed and the rest are going to be going wild and crazy, or we're going to harness this, and could we create 830 million Larry Pages and Sergey Brins and Mahatma Gandhis and everything else? We can have a total change on our continent if we could develop these youth.